We are just going to start off with the Highguard Shillery video because I think this shit is hilarious, and I feel like we can all use a good laugh to start us off. So shout out to Fran Mirabella. He posted this video over on X, and I want to share with you guys today. I wanted to make sure I give him his credit. He says that Highguard's Instagram shared a few snippets of the early impressions from its creator event. The players have said the following. The feel of gunplay is a favorite. Different than battle royales or extraction shooters. None of those things and all of those things. Pretty fun, like battle royales, but constant action. Gonna be super competitive. Fast-paced FPS. Had to learn the game mode. Unsure if anything is quite like it. Feels smooth and familiar. Defense, bro. How are you gonna say that it... And again, this is not his statements. This is the shill statements. But I just wanted to reiterate. How are you going to say that you're unsure if there's anything quite like it, but then you say it feels familiar? So clearly there are things like it out there. But anyway, it is what it is. Defense-based pre-shield breaker thing is fast. The horse is most liked. Never played where the mount was like that. Amazing fun. Best parts of Apex with movement and gun style, whether 5 minutes or 30 minutes, is constant action. Okay, so we're going to check out this compilation. It's about 1 minute and 30 seconds long. And, hey, we're going to see what they have to say. Listen, somebody took great offense to us calling them shills on Saturday Night Hypnosis. So we're going to call them flown-out creators that were compensated in some way, shape, or form. That's what we're going to call them. It's a longer statement. They're fucking shills. It is what it is. Anyway, all right, here we go. Let's press play.
You just played Highguard. What are your first impressions about the game?
My favorite thing right away is the feel of the gunplay. Completely different from any other game I've played in terms of battle royale or extraction shooter. It's kind of none of those things and then all of those things all put together. So far.
How the fuck is that even possible? How is that even possible? How is it none of those things and then all of those things put together? Like, do people... Are they just reading a script, or are they just like kind of throwing it out there and hoping that it makes sense to somebody? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck does that even mean? I'm confused right off the bat. So it's not like an extraction shooter. It's not like a hero shooter, but it's like all those things in one. Hypnotic, they're paid actors, but my point is, if you're a paid actor, surely there must be a little bit of a better script, no? What do you expect from Rooster Teeth employee? Is that who that is? I have no idea who these people are. I was hoping to recognize someone, but we'll see.
The game's been pretty fun. I mean, I think it's like battle royales are, but like it's just constant action.
I can already tell it's going to be super, super competitive, and I pray for those who are going to be playing this game.
Sort of scratching the fast-paced FPS that I've always been like looking for.
The game mode at first was...
Okay, so you mean to tell me, listen, I'm sure she's a nice girl. You mean to tell me that you've been looking for a fast-paced FPS and there's not a single one out there that's ever come out that's been up to the speed that you're looking for? Are we being serious right now? There's not out of all the Call of Duties, that's CC. Oh, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, I take back the nice girl comment. But you mean to tell me there's not a single fucking FPS that has ever reached a level of speed that this girl needs? Why do I not believe that? Why do I not believe that in the slightest? Why do I feel like that's the biggest lie I've ever heard? Anyway.
The game mode at first was something that I definitely had to learn to get used to. But now that I'm kind of in it with my trio and we understand the process of like what to do, where to go, how to fight, there's some moments that we definitely were able to make together as a team.
I don't know if there's anything quite like it, to be honest. It's a different kind of game that I've never played before, and I really, really enjoy the fight mechanics.
Mechanical aspect of the game feels great. Everything feels really smooth, and again, something very familiar to me.
I don't really like tack shooters and the fact that the round takes so long to start, and then you have to wait, and then if you're dead you have to wait more. Where this one, it's very like defense phase is fast, the pre shield breaker thing is fast, like everything just feels like a nice flow.
The horse
is what I like the most. It's kind of weird to say out of everything, but like I never played a game where a mount in this manner was like that, I would say.
Game is amazing. It's fun. It gives me a reminder of the best parts of Apex with like the movement, the gun style, all that stuff.
Highguard is all about the PvP. It is constant action. It is, you know, whether it's a 5-minute game or a 30-minute game, it is constant action, and I love it.
Okay. Okay. So listen. Could they be telling the truth? Maybe, right? Potentially, they could be telling the truth. What are the chances that they're telling the truth? Or what are the chances that they are overhyping their actual feelings? Right? Probably very high. Like very high. Like extremely high. What they basically did was they promoted this game, showed nothing but pure excitement for this game, but then said absolutely nothing about the game. And I don't know if that's because they couldn't say anything about the game outside of like small things that they were allowed to say, like obviously the horse being one of them and whatnot. But I mean, come on, like I can't take these things seriously. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the super fans. Remember that whole bullshit? Actually, you know what? Let me bring that up just for I don't even know if that exists anymore because I think they deleted it. So I got to go through somebody else. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. So what I'm referencing is the Lord of the yes, here we go. Somebody did upload this. A channel with 59 subscribers uploaded this. This is great. So what I'm referencing is this. I'm referencing the Amazon Lord of the Rings of Power super fans video where they had everybody come in and pretend like they were major fans of Lord of the Rings, and they promoted it in the same exact manner, right? They promoted it in the same like vague manner, but then they tried to hype it up and they swore this was like the greatest thing ever. And then come to find out that pretty much all of them never actually watched the show. One of them, I think the black girl, let me see. I don't know where she's at here. Yeah, her. She didn't even watch the fucking show. She chose to watch Game of Thrones over this show. So whenever I see videos like what we just saw with Highguard, it reminds me of this, where it's so obviously, and again, I'm not saying these people were paid, but there's multiple different ways of being paid. And a lot of these people want to be paid in access versus being actually monetarily paid. Of course, they will want to be monetarily paid if they can, but most of them are not. Most of them are paid in free stuff, being flown out, hotels, free food, swag bags, and obviously the clout that comes with being on the official page of whatever you're shilling for. Anyway.
Still excited about it growing up. Like I was still excited about being an elf or a hobbit and joining in with it, even though I wasn't represented, like even like my disability or my queerness wasn't represented. It just makes me so happy. It makes my heart warm.
With it, even though I wasn't represented, like even like my disability or
there's some.
Oh, so this is an edited version of this. Okay, this is gonna be funny. I'll watch this. I will watch this. Hold on.
Very cool with prequels in the way that they can make you love the things you already love even more. So the fact that we're going to be seeing things that are potentially going to make us love the Hobbit films and the Lord of the Rings films and potentially the books as well.
Potentially the books as well.
Bro.
I feel like there needs to be a reason for the
Wait, this is gold. Hold on. This is fucking gold. I just found this. Bro, look at her face towards the end, right? You know goddamn well this girl is not serious. You know that she is just making this shit up as she goes along. You know what I'm saying? It's so bad. Why even, again, you know what I view these people as? These are useful idiots. That's what they are. They're useful idiots, right? Every company needs useful idiots. And there is plenty of people that are willing to sign up to be a useful idiot. Plenty of people. And this is precisely that.
I feel like there needs to be a reason for the rings to be made, right? So obviously with the wars happening, and then like, oh,
What was the reason?
For within these rings was bound the strength and will to govern each race.
Oh no.
But they were all of them deceived.
Oh no.
For another ring was made. In the land of Mordor, in the fires of Mount Doom.
Not the
Dark
lore
Lord
explanation.
Sauron forged in secret a master ring to control all others. And into this ring, he poured his cruelty, his malice, and his will to dominate.
Yeah, like you can't say like what was the reason for the rings. Meanwhile, it's literally in the fucking beginning of the movie. It's like, bro, they explained this to you in the beginning. How could you not know this stuff?
All life. One ring to rule them all.
Do you think we're going to see another side of Sauron?
Yes.
Like maybe he falls in love. But
Are you fucking
maybe there's a
kidding me?
reason. Every villain's a hero in his own story.
Be silent. Keep your phone tongue behind your teeth.
People are going to fall in love with him and be like, I can change him.
Oh my God, I'm sick. All right, I'm done. I'm gonna link this video if you guys want to check out the OG channel that did this. I want to make sure they get their credit. They only have 59 subscribers, but they did a good job on that video. So I think the editing's great. The channel's called Lady of Valmar. 59 subs. It's got 58,000 views. That's amazing. Good for them. It's not an official channel that I'm sharing. It's a completely different channel. Anyway, yeah. So the point is, when I see videos like this, that's what I think about. Like, not to go down memory lane, but that's what I think about. I think about the super fans. I think about the useful idiots. I think about the people who these companies need, right? Especially as, let's be honest, guys, right? Like, access journalism is dying, right? In the standard sense, where access journalism is kind of going out the door, and now it's more about access content creation, where content creators now more than ever are trying to utilize their platform to try to get corporate sponsorships in whatever way that they possibly can. And this is no different. Just look at the room. I mean, if you look at the room that they're in, it's clearly meant to try to house as many content creators as possible, put them in front of a fucking computer, and make them all seem like they're having the greatest time ever. It's basically it. It's a massive paid event. And from what I understand, some of the content creators out there got flown out and was paid for. And there was other content creators that didn't get flown out, but they got free food. And obviously they got their swag and whatnot. So you got something for it. You got something for it. And I don't know, man. I just wish that there was people out there that could take these kind of things and still be honest. But the truth is that unless you have it in writing from the company, right? If you have an agreement with the company saying, that they may want to send you something, but that you're not sponsored in any way, and you can write whatever review you want, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, doesn't matter, then I'd be more willing to listen. But it's pretty clear that a lot of these people from the AAA, especially, that's not what they're doing. Even AA, that's not what they're doing whatsoever. So anyway, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out tomorrow. I hope for the people that are genuinely looking forward to Highguard, I hope it's a good game for you. I really do. I don't mean that sarcastically whatsoever. Because, again, I've said it so many times on video, and I've said it so many times on streams, and I'm going to say it again. I don't play hero shooters. I don't like hero shooters. It's not my kind of thing. So, for me, I have no skin in the game. But for people out there that do play these games all the time, I hope it's good for you. Otherwise, you're going to have another Concord situation on your hand. But I think this one will be less egregious because it's free to play. So the barrier of entry for a lot of the broke people that don't want to partake in anything that actually costs money, they just want to virtue signal about it on Twitter, I think that this will be very easy for them to actually back up their claims, because they didn't back up Concord because Concord cost $40 or whatever the fuck it was. So they're not going to actually want to spend $40. Are you kidding me? They just want a virtue signal. Now this is free, so this will be a little easier to get into. I think what's going to happen with this game is that it's going to have a very high number in the beginning because of two reasons. Number one, it's free. Number two, the controversy. Just like Veilguard had a decent number at launch, you're going to see it dwindle very fast if the game is actually not good and doesn't hold up to what people think or say it's about. So I think the initial numbers are going to be impressive or semi-impressive, and then it's just going to just completely die. At this point, there's no way that the numbers cannot be somewhat impressive. It's a free-to-play game. If you have this much marketing, if you have the Game Awards behind you, giving you a free slot At the end of the award show, if you have every access content creator out there pushing your game, if you have every mainstream journalist outlet talking about your game, and then you have people who are a little bit more realistic talking bad about your game and how it looks, regardless, everybody and their mother has been pushing this game in some way, shape, or form. So the initial numbers are going to be somewhat decent, but the retention is where it's going to count. I'll give you a great example. X-Defiant, right? X-Defiant is the one. Hypnotic, isn't that Booty Adams? No, are you kidding me? That's not Booty Adams. Don't insult this person. Listen, X-Defiant is the best example of that. X-Defiant from Ubisoft was a game that had tens of millions of fucking players playing that game. They actually had a massive player base that if they just didn't fuck up, they would have been able to capitalize on that and make so much money. But unfortunately, even though they had 10 to 20 million fucking players, they ended up dropping the ball on X-Defiant and the game ended up dying. Before they shut down X-Defiant, it went all the way down to about 20,000 players across all platforms within about a year, from 10 to 20 million players. You know what I mean? So X-Defiant's a great example of that. And I think this game's going to be potentially another X-Defiant, where if they come out strong with some numbers and everybody's playing the game, if you guys can ride that train all you want. You can pretend like it owns the chuds. I guarantee you, within a few hours of the game coming out, if it has high numbers, you're going to have every single Access Media account trying to own the chuds on Twitter with that information. They're going to be like, oh, look, within 5 hours, this game has 100,000 concurrent players. It's the best game in the world. The chuds were wrong. Everybody was wrong. When everybody with a brain can clearly see that it's a free-to-play game, 100,000 does not equate to the same amount as 100,000 paid. And not only that, with a free-to-play game and a hero shooter, obviously the first few hours to the first couple of days is going to be high. And then afterwards, it's about the retention. You know, so again, guarantee you that's going to happen. You're going to have all the Twitter posts. I already look forward to them. I cannot wait for them. You're going to have some journalist outlets doing it as well. Highguard comes out to massive success, owns the chuds. You know, the game is amazing, even though people said it wasn't going to be, blah, blah, whatever. And then when the game dies, they're also going to die with them. They're going to go quiet. They're never going to mention the game again. And they'll be on to their next game. They're going to be shilling, whatever the game that may be in 2026. It's a cycle, bro. It's the cycle of the internet. Question is whether the game will last longer than Concord. Of course it's going to last longer than Concord. It's free to play. There's no way that it's not going to last longer than Concord. The entire game is set up the way that Concord should have been set up. Free to play, monetizable, and try to get as many people as possible to join the game. That's it. Like Kata said, will they be playing in 2 weeks? I would not be surprised if the game is actually bad to see a drop-off of about 70% in about a week to a week and a half. I would not be surprised. I think that considering we are going into the weekday, which is it's very odd to release a game on a Monday. You know what I mean? Like most people release a game on a Thursday or a Friday. To release it on a Monday is a little bit detrimental to your numbers, but especially free to play. But regardless, I mean, it is what it is. They're releasing on Monday. I'll be curious to see what their weekend numbers would be. I'll be curious to see what they do on Friday and Saturday, with Saturday being the key metric to go based off of. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, that's the topic for Highguard. I just thought it was funny overall. In this video, I just couldn't help but laugh at this video, man. You got all the comments here. In other words, people who were flown out and paid to go to an event enjoyed the event. Source of information on anyone paid to go to the event. These events are standard. Some deny travel and meal coverage or gift bags. Others don't, and the good ones should properly disclose. They don't. They never, bro. They never. What? That's not going to happen, bro. That is not going to happen. Are you kidding me? Listen, I don't even know if it's probably even allowed to disclose, to be honest with you. In other words, you've watched and read a ton of these same impressions for good and bad games, but it's misinformation to say people were paid to attend. I think it is misinformation to say people were paid to attend. I don't think people were monetarily paid. But the thing is, when people say paid, they say paid in a generic sense, meaning like access pay. So You may not have been paid for the event, but there is a ton of content creators that are out there right now saying that they were indeed flown out to the event. So they accepted them to they paid for their ticket. That's technically getting paid in a way, because you didn't have to pay to actually attend. They flew you out. They paid for your ticket. They paid for your flight. So they technically did pay. They paid you money, just not in your pocket. They paid you in your access. But anyway, I get it. If you want to be technical, whatever, it's fine. They definitely paid the larger creators. Yeah, I would imagine they probably paid like the really big creators. Nothing crazy, but they probably paid them a little bit to get them to come over there. But yeah, paid can definitely mean different things for different people. But to say that there are some people that denied the travel and the meal coverage or the gift bags, yeah, I don't believe that. You didn't deny everything. That's what I'm saying. Somebody could have denied the travel, but that's because they lived close and they didn't deny the meal coverage or the gift bags. Somebody could have denied the gift bag, but then took the travel and the meal coverage, although that would be kind of stupid. You know, like I don't think this whole story of like, oh, there's some people that were there because they wanted to be there for free and they didn't get anything. I don't believe that whatsoever. I think they got something at the very least. And even if you didn't get anything, you still were paid an access to an event that other people didn't have access to, and you got first look at a game that other people did not have access to get first look at. So you're still getting paid in some way, shape, or form. It's just not all monetary. Yeah, exactly, Soul Reaper. If they didn't get paid for anything while at the event, they were paid. Yeah, 100%. So anyway, regardless, it is what it is. And look at this, Jeff. Yo, Jeff, why is Jeff Keighley deep throating this game so hard? Is he financially invested in this? I was having a conversation with the guys. I'm like, bro, is Jeff Keighley like invested in this studio or something? Is this his studio? I'm starting to get a little. I've never seen him push this hard for a game. When was the last game that Jeff Keighley went this crazy for? You know, I don't know. It's just a little bit suspicious. I'm curious what people say. Is the PS5 version coming out tomorrow? Yep. Jeff, what can I preload? Can it live up to the hype? I'm hanging on you, Jeff. Trust you. Why would you trust Jeff Keighley on video game advice? Can someone please remind Jeff how Jurassic Park ended? I can't wait to see this game fail. How much did they pay you again? I hope it's decent as a solo player. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that this game will definitely have a high initial player count, especially if you're factoring in all platforms, obviously. PlayStation, Xbox, PC. All platforms, I think, is going to have a decent player count, but it's the retention that's going to matter. The retention is really going to matter. The symbol next to his name is the same one as the game. This is the Game Award symbol. This is the Game Award symbol. That's not like, it's a different symbol from the studio. Where's the studio? I can't find the studio. But yeah, no, that's the Game Award symbol. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, let's X this out. Okay.